All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Hughes here, Golden Heart Hospitality. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be episode 1 of Golden Heart Academy. I'm going to be putting together a large project on beer and beer knowledge, beer sales, beer information. This is going to be where sales, hospitality, and cutting edge information and systems of mental mapping and intentional categorical breakdowns come together to make a true total package on beer. And if you're fortunate enough to be working at Tuckaway Tavern and Butchery, you're going to have a wonderful time breaking down this information and using your menu and your venue to your full advantage. So, hello everyone who's there, by the way. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be a fun adventure. So please grab a beer, grab some note paper, a pen, put on your favorite music and just relax and listen to my voice and take in this lecture. I'm going to be putting up some really important picto lectures or photograph lectures that I've created. So they all exist in a top-down format, left to right. And I'm going to be breaking down the information for us to see exactly how to use and visualize and speak about this in a logical format that you can go back to and gain access to real training in the restaurant industry. So welcome to Golden Heart Academy. This is the first episode. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right. So a little more in detail. I just want to say again, this is going to be a lecture that we're going to engage with. You're going to think about beer. You're going to talk about beer. You're going to hear informed language. You're going to hear about the introductory process of how a professional server should be introducing themselves, which is going to move into a drink sale. And this is something that everyone in the service industry is aware of. If you're a server or a bartender, steps of service involve introducing yourself, introducing the venue, the concept, the cuisine, making some suggestions on favorites, on new items or specialty dishes or drinks. And that's the injection point for the cellared beer or maybe a tap of interest. But when it comes down, or any item, but this is beer's focus today. So what I'm going to be teaching us and teaching everyone is how to think about beer, and especially when you have a large beer menu, this is going to be your opportunity to shine as a service professional and really show off that you are actively involved. Now, many restaurants have people who are different levels of professionals and different career professionals. Some people actually are in it for their career, but others aren't. And everyone meets in the middle. But you're at a restaurant, you're serving people, your potential is real, and you should be there to make money. And this is how you're going to maximize your sales on beer and create opportunities of conversation that really build a culture in the restaurant industry. And we as professionals and we as people in the industry and anybody watching this, you definitely have a draw to be the best in the business and you want to make the most money as possible. And this is through the building of experiences. And that is what you're going to gain access to. This is one department of experiences that include the drink, the drinking category itself, but also your service is really what's going to shine here and show people that you have the ability to provide in a way and communicate in a way that creates an experience of its own. So let's move forward into some clear cut information. And I think I'm going to start with an introduction, a basic introduction, and then I'm going to move right into the drink sale. I don't really need to get into other details of too many details of the introduction or the food experience, but that's for other trainings that we can watch in another video. I really want to just get to the beer. Okay. Now, for those at Tuckaway Tavern and Butchery, you're going to be having 24 different taps, an incredible cellared beer program, and bottled beers to work with. Now, there are different levels of celebration that you should be thinking of with all of your beers, just like you should do with any wine or any food or any product. Usually, when they grow in price, there's a reason for it, and it is tied to celebration and the right times to open certain products and certain bottles. If it's just a rainy day, an afternoon, and people are just grabbing lunch, they're probably not going to be jumping into a deep, dark, heavy beer that's going to carry them to bed. This is gently, softly, and comfortably. Like this is not what we're going for. We're probably going for something lighter, brighter, funner, easier to drink, maybe a little strong if they're on break. But you're going to think about your environment and a place like Tuckaway. Well, if it's snowing, if it's raining, if it's nice and sunny out, if it's the summertime, If it's a Monday or a Tuesday, you have lobster roll, buy one, get one free. Weekends are celebrations, parties, rest. People are, if you have a birthday or a large party, there's ways to sell these items. But we're going to talk about an individual basis first before we get into grand celebrations and really ways to kick it off, because you're going to be a true professional. If you're watching this, you're going to grow, but I'm going to teach you how to do it even better than you probably ever have. And this involves you stepping up to the plate, to spiel, with more confidence, more knowledge, more professionalism, and more consistency, So if you're going to represent this product and have like a mastery of this knowledge, you at least want to introduce yourself professionally. So, and you're going to think about the different demographics that you're dealing with, the different types of celebrations, the different types of opportunities. Some venues are strictly based around celebrations, like Giselle. There's just so many celebrations. It's almost every table. But then you have other venues that are more about just eating and getting sustenance and being with friends and family in the cheer ball, like a tavern. And yeah, they have birthdays and big celebrations and private events and all kinds of stuff, but this is about something else. So the individual basis, the consistency of waiting on tables back to back, the place is usually on a full wait, and anyone who has more time than a restaurant on a full wait, you're going to be able to access more communication. So I want to encourage everyone that this is possible on every single table, that these little guides and pictures that I have are dense with information, but it's going to break it. We're going to break it up into your mind so that it's easy to deal with, and it's way more relatable than you think. So all that being said, the value of the experience, the value of the introduction, the value of your professionalism, the value of you putting together a full package, and this is one piece of the puzzle. Now, if you take this puzzle piece and put it in your heart and give it out to people, you're going to have a huge piece of professionalism and a unique attribute that you are able to show people. So your unique attribute is something you're going to be empowered by, a strength and an ability to manipulate knowledge of beer and how to sell it and how to provide an experience around it. And then in the future, if this is what you're passionate about, you can translate this to other dishes and other concepts like wine, mixology, food, the pairings of them, the experience of it, understanding what people are going to be experiencing, and then relaying it yourself in an emotional, powerful way. So this is where real service goes, and this is where real professionals shine, because it's contained inside of them and they let it out. So this is what we're going to be doing. Now, we're going to talk about, I think, kind of what a traditional experience is and then where we're going to take it. Okay. So where a typical experience you're going to normally see at most restaurants is the server is going to introduce themselves, say hello, and then maybe welcome you, maybe ask you if you've been there before, definitely ask you if you want water. And then they're going to go to like a drink, like, oh, what do you, and that's like the basic core of a spiel, an introduction, but many people skip it. So you're seeing, oh yeah, can I get you started with some drinks? And so people say, yeah, no one says I like a beer when they get asked that. They're like, unless they're like me, or they want service, or they're trying to play a game or have fun, or just like, maybe they're a normal person actually. But when it comes down to it, if a waiter says, oh, well, can I get you some drinks? You're probably going to say, oh, I'll take the Kolsch, or I'll take the Blue Moon. Or maybe they'll say, what do you have on tap? You're going to hear these types of interactions, and a server should respond with these full details I'm going to be teaching you. But you might get a favorite, you might get a suggestion, you might get just like a little bit of information, but definitely not the full access. At Tuckaway, you see a beer looking Bible. Okay. It has like the cellar is documented in it, and it's absolutely incredible. Someone send me a video of that. And then you're going to see the beer menu. It's complex. It's like a double list that goes down with all kinds of brewers. And I don't think they put the tasting notes in it. And because really they have a beer board that people are supposed to be responsible for and communicating with the staff for, to create empowered service and experiences, not just about cutting corners and efficient and putting things in the menu. And someone's just a menu updater. Like, this is about real interactions and real salesmanship, and why you have an award-winning establishment. Okay. And so, yeah. So why you can be Golden Heart, really. So So next up, whatever it comes down to, Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Budweiser, Tap, they list the tap. It doesn't matter. Okay, you can list the names of brews and breweries, and people still won't know what it is. I mean, someone might, but when it comes down to it, you need to use systematic informational breakdowns. This is what I call the intentional categorical breakdown, maybe like an ICB. Okay, you take your ICB for beer, and at a place like Tuckaway, you have the opportunity to have like all flavors represented. This is like a powerful way to take information sets and display them. And where this is going to go is you're going to have 8 different categories. Okay, light, dark, amber, hoppy IPA, fruity summery, seasonal, sour, and aged or cellared. Now, the seasonal category, you're not always going to recommend unless you have a specialty item. Okay, and when you're in New England and New Hampshire, you have 4 seasons. It's an interesting way to see brewers and different people putting together products that are focused around the season. So technically, you might only have 7, but it's so nice to think of a seasonal option as well. Okay, they're real. It's an absolute thing. And it pairs well with some foods and specials and different things for you to create experiences. All right. So when you do the first 3, light, dark, and amber, these are color associations, these are flavor associations, these are feelings. Even aromas can be represented with light, dark, and amber. So these 3 are what you're going to say first in order to create a beautiful color association. Now, you're going to have a go-to with every single beer, okay? And that's why I used to teach people to have a list in their book. They have a server book, they write their list, they use colors that they want, a light, dark, amber, hoppy, summery, fruity, IPA, sour, seasonal, and cellared beer you're going to have to represent. In the cellared beer, you would have a light, an amber, and a dark, so that you have a full representation, a good representation of the cellar that you're able to do. But the sour ales and different things aged masterfully, the cellar could have its own list of go-tos. Now, let's go back. So light, dark, and amber. A light brew is going to have different dimensions of lightness, okay? The number one obstacle you'll face is a person who says, oh yeah, I'll take a Bud Light or I'll take a Bud Heavy. And these are classic domestic drinkers, and some people are demographically and stereotypically drinking this brew. It's built into memory, it's built into lifestyle, it's built into American culture, but it's not a microbrew, it's a domestic. And these types of things, you're going to have like a challenge you can offer or an opportunity to offer someone something similar, but on tap, something more elevated and better because you deserve it. Okay. And some people don't like that, and that's fine. You'll understand who they are and you can work around that. Sometimes it's quicker and easier, but then other people at the table will get a more elevated service experience and they might want to come back to it. So don't leave them out. Okay. Humans are very interesting. And if you're really being a true waiter, working for your tip and trying to make money and connections based on your service, this is what you're going to want to do. Okay. So, the light beer drinker, you're going to have this person, you're going to say to them, what is light to you? Or how light do you like it? Do you like light and crisp? Do you like light and bitter? Do you like a little maltiness? Do you prefer a fruity light beer or a summery light beer? Maybe you like a little hoppy, bitter light beer. I can honestly bring you an aged cellared ale, like an aged IPA, where the hops fall off and the malts become sweeter and the beer becomes stronger over time. We'll bring you something really interesting. And then if you have saisons or different lagers or different brews that are aged for like a short amount of time, then you're gonna have like a year. These are gonna be, or 2 tops. These are gonna be great options for this. Okay. Um, and then you could say light and sour, like you're literally with a light beer, you can go through different elements to break people into something unique that they're going to want to pay for and be grateful for. And maybe they won't like it that much and they'll be able to communicate with you about that. And you get an experience and they get a communication. We don't know why people are going out to restaurants entirely. All right. But human element is a part of it. And many people do want communication. And if you're a real professional and you're driven by what you do and you want to stand out and make more money, this is how it's done. Okay. Now, when you move into this, just to finish off the light category, please look into the guide, look into these Picto lectures, and read them and understand the flavor profiles and the thinking thought. Like it says, think flavors and perfect four. Read these over, look into these ingredients, and try to emotionally appeal to these terminologies and these different things. So, and then we'll think about pairings later. Visualize it. Look at these brews. Take the association seriously and think about what you experience in your venue and in your own life. Okay. And also think about the service that you're getting, how people are not speaking to you this way, how people don't know how to communicate this way, how you are being given a powerful opportunity to gain a skill and an attribute, like I said, of professionalism and knowledge and communication that will bleed through and impact all other forms of your service. Okay. So go over the light qualities. I also have a large guide that I wrote, which I will give access to those who ask for it, to understand this on an even deeper level. But then you go into the dark category. When you see dark, this is usually 2 or 3 items on tap, brewed different ways, barreled different ways, infused with different products. You're typically seeing chocolate, malts, barreling like oak, bourbon, wood casking, sherry casking, different things that they do nowadays to create these unique, deep, dark, powerful beers. The Guinness is like literally the lightest, darkest, like least calorie beer. It's really interesting. I would recommend everyone chug one at one point to really get a good experience out of it. But the dark brews, you can look at a certain guest, you can pair it with certain dishes. When you have these different dark, rich, deep, emotional flavors, this is how you're going to be pairing it with different dishes that have sweetness or caramelization or charring or maple or any nuttiness. Salads even are very interesting with something with different aromatics that can help it. I don't really recommend a salad and dark beer, but if you get the right seasonal option from Chef Bobby Marcotte, anything's possible. Okay. Um, I think that's enough for the dark beer. They're usually more powerful and strong, serve smaller pours. These are all interesting opportunities for you to give people access. You know, if you understand a beer is 10% and they're pouring you a 12-ounce beer instead of the 16-ounce beer, they're actually getting 3 beers in one compared to a Bud Light. This is how you want to think about it and be excited about the fact it's a little party in a glass. And then when you go to the cellared dark beers, it's a whole nother world. Okay. Next up, amber ales. These are very classy and very interesting because the look and the color, the malting and the hops and the different things that go into them. They can be aged masterfully. They can be barreled uniquely. You're going to be offering incredible ales that are amber and very unique. It's a nice middle of the road experience. Okay, it's where the light and the dark meets in the middle at the amber. Okay, so think about these flavors. Think about these what they're perfect for. Think about the beer. Okay. Now, next up, the hoppy IPA. If you get through your list, so you're like light, dark, amber, hoppy, or IPA. When you get to IPA, if they haven't said, "Okay, I'll take an IPA," and cut you off, I'd be surprised. The next one, fruity, they're probably gonna take that or sour. So this like you don't often get to the end of your list. Like it's like another powerful thing that once you mention these key terms and key words, they're gonna really make a difference. In the accuracy of your sales, the speed of your sales, and you're going to get so good at this that you're gonna be amazed. All right. Um, so hoppy IPA. Now this is a very broad category. IPAs have largely changed. You have single, triple, double, triple brews, unfiltered, filtered. You have different types of hops from different parts of the world that create citrus, that create grapefruit, that create like lemon, lime, orange. Um, Extreme bitters, dryness. This is where like you can have crushable IPAs where people can like drink them really fast or like there's different terms that people like to use. The aroma sometimes when it smells piney, it won't taste that way. These are ales you have to unravel and look at the brewery notes, taste it yourself, and write about it. Think about it in the way that I'm teaching you. Okay. This is how you gain access with color, with aroma, with flavor, and alcohol content and fun. This is what it's about. So the IPAs, you'll break them down to your guests, and you usually get excited about one or represent a new one that came on. There's a lot on there. I mean, a flight, if it's an option, do it. Think about how to access the most experiences for your guests with the time that you have to maximize your opportunities. Okay. Um, Fruity and summery ales. These are ones that you're going to mention with like orange, blueberry, apple. These are different key flavors you can let out. Lemon, Heffenweizens. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of ales that can categorize as fruity and summery that people are coming up with that people love. So these are fun beers that are you can target to certain demographics, whether it's a man or a woman, older or younger, or in the middle. It's easy to do. You can add a little fresh fruit to some of these, and it really takes the beer further and the experience much further. Add a certain rim to the beer, and people go wild. Okay. But you have to communicate this stuff, and you can bring these extra experiences to your guests to create unique opportunities. Okay. I think it really speaks for itself. I shouldn't explain that too much more. The seasonal, this is where you see pumpkin, you see summer ales, you see winter ales, you see, I don't know what happens in the spring. I don't know. And so it's like there's just different options that come together. You'll see the brewers putting out these different options, and they're really easy to sell. I mean, tremendously easy to sell. And if you have seasonal food from the kitchen, it's on. You should be able to do this, no problem. All right, sour ales. These are brand new in the market in the past couple of years. Really, when they came out, people loved it or hated it, and now I think it's picked up a much bigger following. And everyone knows how fun sour ales can be. So let's just think about the different fruits, the flavors, the excitement. If you're doing a flight, you can put down different ales to play with and really teach people about. But this is I think my favorite category of beer. Absolutely incredible when you see a true sour, like a raspberry sour with like a little lactic infusion. It's like these creamy elements. They do so much crazy stuff. It's insane. So get excited about sour ales. It's definitely an opportunity to grow the mind and the palate, and they're usually not that strong. So you want to think about these beers. Now this brings me into cellared beer. All right, so now this brings me to cellared beer, and I wrote a whole entire thing on this, and I've done quite a bit of work with this. So you're going to see my Picto lecture on it, and you have some different things on the other one that I have over here. So what I wrote on the screen, it says the cellar difference. Not all beer is meant to be drunk fresh. Some beers are built to evolve. Okay, like wine, but not that old. Why we cellar? Time softens bitterness and harsh edges. So bitter notes mellow out and soften. Flavors deepen and develop. So like when the concentrations of these things transform and change, other flavors rise to the top and other things get diminish. So you're going to have a beer literally altering and changing as it ages. And it gets stronger. It's interesting how more complex it gets over wine, I would say. Complexity unfolds in beautiful ways. So like a oak barrel aged beer is gonna taste more. It's gonna taste even more oaky. It's gonna taste more refined. It's gonna taste kind of more mellow and maybe even a little flatter. And so, but the alcohol rises, and it really creates a complex experience that isn't the same as drinking the beer straight off the tap. It's a very unique experience, and it usually hits you stronger. So complexities, I mean, it's just there's so many ways to talk about this when you have 10,000 different beers, that it is the land of complexity, and it is a playground to enjoy. And if you're at a place like Tuckaway or at a venue that has a beer cellar, you have to go in there and play with it. Talk to your chef, talk to your bar manager, talk to your owners, tell them what you need to do in order to experience these types of things. And I know at Tuckaway, you have full access. So there is literally no excuses except your own BS. All right. So rare bottles become unforgettable experiences. So There's like a brewer, like the brewery, who are out of California, I think, and they make like incredible brews. It's absolutely amazing. You can take their ridiculous product, age it for 2 years, and it becomes like a rare find, like a golden nugget. Okay. That's why on my cellared beer thing, I have the double chocolate stout by Rogue. This is the Brooklyn double chocolate stout. It's unbelievable. Okay. Is it Brooklyn? No, it's Rogue. And so this is like the most magical beer. It like at 1 year versus 2 years versus 3 and 4 years, I've tried them all. And the first year it was like you try it right off the rip. It's good, it's delicious, it's strong, it's cool, it's nice. You age it for a year, it mellows out a little bit, the malts sweeten a little bit. Some of the tannins and like the different so like not tannins, but the different like woodiness or just the different qualities mellow out. Okay. And year two, it is like drinking like I thought it was like a beer chocolate milk, but it was like not chocolate milk, but it was like but it's a brew. It was mind blowing the associations that we have. It's literally just like incredible to think about. So um, this beer transforms at year two, and year 3 and 4 it became a little too strong, and like it's just so interesting when you have a brew like this. So that's why I featured it on the front for everybody here. Okay. Now, read into this guide, look at it left to right. You know, these are different associations for you to read. You know, bitter and sour profiles become more sweet. Hop notes mellow out beautifully. Malts become heavier and add great depth. The most significant, they develop into much richer, deeper, and stronger brews over time. So powerful to know. All right. Do you know this? Did you realize this? Anyone understand this? Please do. All right, it's here. We don't just serve beer, we guide you to greatness. Our vast cellar can be intimidating, and that's where we come in. We know our styles, we know our cellar, we match the perfect beer to your palate. You can enjoy an experience you can't get anywhere else. Tuckaway, step it up. Let's go, guys. Let's do it. You got the power, you have the ability. Look in your hearts, look into that cellar, look into your opportunities and your guests, and make clear, confident, fun suggestions with consistency. Look at the flavor notes that are unraveled in the cellar. The art of the beer experience. We showcase it, we educate you, we serve it right, we retrieve proper information, and we create loyalty. All right. You can take it home if you want to. I gave 5 very high level opportunities that are still fun and accessible for you to inject some ideas on how to present the cellared beer. And I truly believe like just forcing it like into the spiel. We have Chef Bobby Marcotte opened up his cellared beer vault and has released this incredible brew for this week. Please check it out. It's X, Y, and Z. All right. You can do this anywhere. We opened our cellared beer vault and released this. Tonight's ultimate beer offering is this. Like it's not that hard to do it in just a few words. But if you say the chef has opened his beer vault with some incredibly rare new selections you will find nowhere else that have been aging for our guests for over a year, I mean, who's not going to want to hear what's next? Read these, believe in them, say them out loud, watch yourself transform and grow. This is what it's really about. So I'm going to post these in the video. You can pause it, you can watch it, you can write it down. Eventually, you're going to have access to it directly. But take this in, look at the cellared beer guide, think about the transformations, and I need you guys to post questions and ask me questions on here. So we're going to create a forum here, and we're going to use this for communication. So ask me questions, and we're going to get this going. But I think this is a great overlay of, a detailed discussion of what it means to go through beer, and how to communicate on the different levels. This is just hot words, emotional, visual, encapsulating, and really it's a mode of communication. So if you're willing to work with this and open your mind and speak in this way with confidence and having an actual list of go-tos, if you have people helping you be responsible to have this information, like your management or trainers or leaders, this is how it's done. You guys got to work together to build the sales team. And management, you should have some kind of game in place for certain number of bottles sold. The staff gets some kind of reward. And it has to be real. It can't be false. And there's a lot of false promises. So always, if you're doing something, guarantee it, put it up, put it on display. Like this is ready, this is available when the time is right. And when you guys make the sales, like this, do it. Get your staff motivated. This isn't hard. Look into it. People don't just, no matter what your staff is getting paid, they deserve more, period. Okay. So wake up, realize it, access it. They're going to be accessing more information. And people who do this, they're going to grow. And yeah, you'll make more money, but you're going to deserve even more from your company, from yourself, from your friends, and you're going to be able to give more. This is the reciprocal state of action that I'm going to be putting my hospitality perspective out in the world with. So thank you. Thank you so very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That was a beautiful 30-minute production. So I hope you took notes. Hope you enjoyed a beer or two while you were watching and really just had a good time learning about beer culture and how we as professionals can really build something wonderful every day. So yeah, thank you so much. Any questions maybe could inspire some new videos or content. You can reach me anytime. Other than that, I would say look forward to some more content and videos in this nature and keep learning. All right, we're here.